So Breath by James Nestor is the book that I was reading. I think it's quite popular. I had honestly done the usual every 3 months most popular science book of the last year, and it was on there. It's all about breathing and how important it is, like from a biochemical perspective, but also like almost philosophical, psychological. But very, very, like, I'll summarize the book for you right now. It's very important that you breathe through your nose with your mouth closed. I did not know this, and now I've been very conscious. And I think I do breathe through my nose more than I thought. I was really worried. Oh my God, I haven't thought about this before. Do you think that you notice in your life that you're a nose breather or not? As you breathe in, I'm watching
testing.
it. Oh.
Yeah, I thought most people were nose breathers.
Yeah, most people are.
So I think I am, but because I feel like the times I'm not, my mouth gets so dry.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's good.
But one thing I'll say is that I sometimes, like, you know, some people say they have like deviated septums or different like issues with their nose. Sometimes I feel like, and maybe everyone feels this way, but every now and then when I take like an allergy med, or if I've ever used like Dristan up my nose, suddenly I'm like, I have never been able to breathe this well.
Oh, I see.
Is that normal? Like, I'll actually be like, is this what normal breathing feels like? Because my nose normally doesn't breathe like this.
For sure. No, I think that I know exactly what you're saying, and I'm pretty sure that those are like from the effect of the actual medicine.
Drug.
Yes, yeah, it's a literal drug, and it like clears the.
But
like,
it makes you go from being sick to breathing better than ever before. And I was like, should I feel like this normally?
Oh my God, that's so funny. That moment where you're like, wait, is this what life feels like?
Yeah.
But it's breathing? No, that's definitely, I think, the drug. Like, your nose is designed very well to be getting all the air that you need into your lungs. But it was really interesting. It helps. It's like it helps with your posture. And he was a mouth breather and had a lot of issues from it. And just by training himself, some people tape their lips closed.
Dude, that's terrifying to me.
While they sleep, yeah. In order to build up you essentially like build up the like tissue and muscles to do it better. And anyways, for a variety of reasons, it's very important to breathe through your nose. So everyone just like, you don't need to read the book, just know that. Okay.
This is Cliff Notes. Just breathe through your nose.
But they did a really great synopsis of how we evolved to breathe. And I think it's something you learn a lot about in school. So I just wanted to summarize it again because it's fascinating. So like 4 billion years ago is when our ancestors appear on rocks, like when we sort of leave the water. You know what I mean? Very small, hungry organisms that needed to survive. But mostly then the atmosphere was CO2. So they were using CO2 as a fuel source in order to live. But CO2 is not efficient. And what actually happened is as they were absorbing CO2, they were releasing oxygen. Then eventually the atmosphere gets full of oxygen and sort of like the goo that exists. This is about 2.5 billion years ago. Now start to be able to absorb oxygen. And now oxygen has a lot more energy. And that's how we start to like be able to evolve complex organisms, because we're now taking in oxygen. It's 6 times more energy efficient than CO2. And that's sort of like what allows life to like proliferate. And then you get animals and you get noses and you get throats. And we still now are breathing this oxygen and like creating CO2. But that efficiency was created. And the ability to have such complex organisms came from the fact that we now are able to take in oxygen with more energy than CO2.
This always reminds me of the fact that like prehistorically dragonflies, because their systems are built in a way like they don't have a circulatory system, so the oxygen goes right to the parts of their body that needs it. So when there was a higher concentration of oxygen on Earth, there were gigantic dragonflies.
Oh, yeah.
They're one of my favorite animals. I think they're so cool. You can see them literally pumping their like but like the lower abdomen like this, and that's them just like pulling the air in and out. The last thing I wanted to say about that oxygen thing is I once tried out a CPAP machine, which is for people who like stop breathing in the middle of the night. It like shoves like air and oxygen through your lungs, and so being a mouth breather is really bad in that case. You can't function with the device if you are a mouth breather. Like wait, if your mouth opens, suddenly all the air shooting in your nose comes out of your mouth, and if
you sound like Bane.
Yeah,
from,
if you
like,
try
Dark
to talk,
Knight.
it'll be like I'd be like it's like actually insane, and I could not deal with that, so I don't have it anymore.
That's part of it, though. Some people in this book, they use CPAP machines to learn how to act. They train people to breathe through their noses because it's so.
Well, it's hard
important.
at night, especially because you don't have control.
Yeah, exactly. So.